What's going on, everybody? Canadian Cali Death Podcast coming back at you. We got fucking a huge one for you guys. Such an honor. You know, when we were trying to get this together, Matt and Casey have been talking, and with the special guest action, having the full lineup here, this is fucking awesome. Having Cryptopsy here with us. I'm here with Casey, Joel, and Joseph. We got Matt. We got Ollie coming back, dude. We got Flo, we got Christian, and our special guest, Mike DeSalvo, dude. What's going on, guys?
Yes, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude. Cryptopsy on the motherfucking Cali Death Podcast, dude. This is amazing. If we would have talked about this 6 months ago, I would have been like, wait, what? No, this wouldn't happen.
No, none of us would have been here.
Yeah. But it's a fucking honor and a pleasure to have you guys here. And thanks for giving us your time, dude. Getting all you guys together at one time, just making this work. This is really appreciated for sure.
Thank you for your support, man. Thank you.
The pandemic helped.
Long support, dude. Long support. I would say 20 years of support from me, dude. No doubt.
Great. Make us older. Thank you.
But I got into it a lot, maybe younger. So I'm not that much younger, but yeah. So yeah, dude, Matt, real quick, anybody want to plug anything before we get into anything else? You know, Vox and Hops, you want to give a little plug on that, Matt?
Sure, man. How you doing? Stoked to be on someone else's podcast. Of course, I'm Matt, vocalist Cryptopsy, the host of the Vox and Hops Metal Podcast. We just released today, episode 250. I've been doing Vox and Hops since the October of 2018, where I sit down with fellow metal musicians to talk about their lives, music, and craft beer. It's a passion project that blew up into something that's taken over my life. There's so much going on in the world of Vox and Hops. I got collabs coming out. I got 2 collabs dropping this month. One with Pub Brewski and another Vox and Overhops is coming back with Overhop Canada. Super stoked about that. It's a passion project. I love it. I love craft beer. I love having deep discussions with fellow metalheads. I've been doing it on the road for many, many years, so it just naturally transformed into something that I did, backstage on buses, renegade running. The pandemic hit, and I just started doing it remotely, just like you guys are doing here. So pleasure to be here. I have a huge project in the works. I can't talk about it too much, but there are over approximately 250 people working together all across North America, spreading the word of life, metal, and craft beer. I can't wait to announce this huge project I'm working on.
Rad.
Congratulations, Matt.
Thank you.
Most
now
definitely.
Get rid of the episodes too. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Get rid of the teleprompter, Matt.
I know that's perfect, dude. Jesus Christ.
I'm like, fuck, dude. I just like stumbled into this shit, and then Matt's just like, boom, I'm in it, dude.
Yes.
He's like,
yes.
He's like, I'm a host too. I got this.
No, I would say that starting this thing, I was already a Vox and Hops fan, so listening to you do it kind of, gave me the little push to say, you know what, I think I might want to try this as well. There's other metal guys that like to fucking talk, about all the shit that we talk about beer sometimes too, not nearly as much as your stuff, but it's just like, yeah, we all have a bunch of common things that we love, and why not fucking get on some podcasts and talk about it,
Absolutely. And beer is just like, a lot of people are afraid because they think I only talk about beer. But beer is just like a catalyst starter. It's just, an icebreaker. It's an easy way just to open up a conversation. It makes people relax. Step one is, having a drink with someone, and then, the next day you go eat. So, it's just an icebreaker.
A funny and favorite one of mine in recent that I can remember was Danny Lilker. I don't know, is that within the last year or so maybe that you did that?
Yeah.
That was a killer episode. I enjoyed it for sure, because I'm a big Brutal Truth fan. I'm a big fucking SOD fan. Anything that Danny touched, X13, anything that guy touches, I fucking love. So to hear you sit down with him for about an hour or so, your episodes are right.
I can keep it to 30 to 45 minutes. I quickly realized editing it myself that I'd like it to keep it a bit shorter.
Yeah.
But Danny was amazing. So super humble. He's a legend. And the more that I do this, the more, I'm super nervous before sitting down with certain people. And they're always just the coolest, most down to earth people. I just sat down with Dwayne Denizen from the Jesus Lizard, and I was crazy nervous for that because I'm a huge Tomahawk fan, worship Patton before I got into extreme vocals, and crazy nervous. And he was just the coolest human. So that's really what I've just been discovering, that we're all just humans, just hanging out. We wake up, we shit, we do what we need to do. We're just trying to get out there, and we're creative humans. We're spreading art, and that's what we do as metal musicians.
Fuck yeah, Matt. Well, dude, this is really fucking cool to have you on, dude. Let's go on real quick because obviously cheers, dude. I'd love to hear from Flo. Flo, how are you, dude? I mean, this is the first time I get to talk to you right now. I'm a little fucking, I'm a little fucking death metal, kid at heart right now. I'm like, oh, like fuck, dude, I got Flo on my episode right now. But yeah, dude. What's up? Your fucking drumming is like some of the most standout shit in the beginning of my death metal career that I can think of. Like, you have your own signature blast, and your style is just so grindy yet fucking tech death at the same time. And that was just one of the main. You and Lord Worm were the two like main standout unique aspects of Cryptopsy the first time that I had heard it with Blasphemy and None So Vile. And yeah, it's set its hooks in me for life, dude. So thank you again. I'm probably going to say thank you, and I'm honored 1,000 fucking times this episode. But yes, dude, I'm so stoked to have you on, and I'd love to get deeper into like what it was like in the earlier Cryptopsy days, in the fucking what it was like to grind in Canada back in the early 90s and shit, So
well, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you, and I appreciate it. I'm glad it affected you that way, in a positive way, of course. I mean, when we talk about the past, there's things I remember and a lot of things I don't remember, and there's probably multiple reasons for that. But I think one of the biggest reasons is that I'm the kind of person that doesn't really dwell on the past at all. I'm really focused on the present and the immediate future, if you wish. So what was it like back then? It was new. It was a challenge for me because I think I was 16 or 17 when the guys came to see me at my house, because I had a band with one of the, I think Lord Worm's roommate. And they just really liked that I was a spastic kid, and that I had some kind of time notion, even though back then it was completely flawed, but I guess it was better than what they had expected. And then, they kind of like Steve Thibault and John Todd's on bass, they were kind of like pushing to go to the extreme, because before that, Necrosis was very edgy, newish kind of thrash, and there was a very dark, kind of sinister element to it, but it wasn't quite death. And we all, kind of grew up together. Them a little bit older than I was, listening to the stuff coming out of Florida and Sweden and all that stuff, and it kind of in New York, and it influenced us to push the envelope a little bit. And I just figured out that I could do it and, be fast. And at the time it was more so nerves than I would say technique. And over the years, obviously I kind of developed it into a technique, but back then it was fun. It was a party. I didn't expect anything of it. Yeah, it was just, I was a kid, and it was just having fun. And then when we saw that there was kind of a global interest, and it just became more of let's take this seriously and try to, exploit what we can from the limited talent that we had. And I think I pushed myself really hard as a kid to listen to a lot of different things and a lot of different people to try to push that talent, to try to give myself a name and not just, emulate somebody else, and find my style. And since I really didn't practice on covers at all, it was kind of easy to find my style. And very simply, my style is not from one particular musician. I think it's from thousands, bits and pieces. I just picked and, threw into my melting pot, which I always say.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking cool, dude. I mean, it does stand out, and the way that you explain it is like, not doing covers and kind of just finding it along the way. That's why it is what it is, and that's why it's unique. It wasn't influenced by anything except for what was inside you as a spastic kid trying to figure out how the fuck they're gonna play something.
Pretty much, and what was the flavor from myself at the moment, and that changes from year to year, even month to month.
So we got some fan questions, and there's one that's kind of relevant to this. So I just wanted to ask this one. In the early days, this fan asked, was it that the guitar riffs were forcing you to play faster to keep up, or was it where the riffs were adjusted to the drum speed instead? What do you think was the driving force in terms of speed there?
It was a joke. It was the guitar player, mostly Steve Tebow, who's a good friend of mine, but but he can be an arrogant prick. And at one point he's just like, come on, you can do it faster. Come on, faster, faster. Oh, come on. And then all the guys joined in, it's called peer pressure, right? Especially when you had a few beers in your system. So yeah, you can go faster. And I just got mad, right? And I said like exaggerated. And I said, well, like this, and I just did something. And they're like, yeah, like that. Yeah, and that's where it all stemmed from. It's as stupid as that, but
that's fucking rad though. That's super
awesome.
fucking cool. I love those happy type of accidents, dude. Those, when you hear that it wasn't planned out, it just happened in the moment, and then it seeded this whole thing. That's a really fucking cool story, dude.
Yeah, it was just just anger.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The whole purpose why you start fucking playing metal, right? Is to just,
what drummer doesn't get angry at their guitar player? I mean,
totally.
Right, Chris?
Right.
Speaking of Christian, let's hear something from you, brother. First time on. I know Ollie and Mike. It's with all these people. It's like it's so hard to get everybody and talk a little bit before we finally just let this thing fucking go loose. But Christian, it's a very nice fucking. It's very nice to meet you, dude. I want to hear something about you real quick before we move on.
I don't know what to say. It's nice to meet you.
Do you want to plug the
something?
The Nail the Mix URM Academy stuff?
Yeah, Rhodes. These are great microphones.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing like these days. I'm extremely stressed because I'm extremely busy doing like all kinds of stuff. But I'll be like mixing songs live on the air for Nail the Mix for the upcoming weekend, which actually I'm going to be mixing Phobo File from Cryptopsy as well, because we found the old 2-inch tapes, so I'm going to remix that. Hopefully it's going to be not too modern, but something cool. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm trying to get prepared for that. This is why I'm not drinking, because I need to be 100% there, so look at me being all wise and grown up.
Do you have the capability to I know Travis, we had Travis from Cali on, and he has some old, what was his first band's name, Strangulation demos that were reel to reel and that needed to be like put in the oven or something, baked, and baked. Do you have the capability to do something like that?
That's what we did actually, and we just transferred everything to digital. So like if you subscribe on Nail the Mix this weekend, these are the actual real tracks from the real tape.
So what goes into baking? Why do you need to bake a reel to reel?
I don't know exactly what the process is, because I just learned about that like the last month, but I believe you have to put it like in the, not in the normal house oven, but in an oven to make them like to make sure like the tape is not sticking to each other, because you only have one chance to transfer it. So if it sticks, like you're doomed, and you just
could it be a breakage thing too, Chris? Because they get kind of crispy over time.
Yeah, actually it's because of that. And also if you bake them, apparently it just brings back all the treble into it, because like over the time like tapes will degrade.
And speaking of baking though, you're a master at baking one thing in particular. Can you share that with us just so people can know?
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Brain.
Actually,
Let us into your
I
secret.
can't-
Your secret. Come on.
I can't do it now because actually my oven just broke at my house, so I'm totally fucked. I can't cook
Can't nail the
anymore.
mix. Okay. All right.
But one of these days, I'll just prepare you the best fish and chip on
Oh, yeah.
earth.
Just know there's a secret to baking fish and chips, and Chris is the man.
I can't remember what I say.
I'm fucking
You
down.
have
for
to
some
ask
fish and
Sir
chips.
These boys are confused.
I'll just laugh it off. I'll laugh it off.
My whole thing with the baking thing that I said on the last time we brought it up too, I was thinking like, if there's like smudges and shit on the surface of it, baking it may take the moisture out of whatever's in that to make it be able to easily be cleaned off. Maybe I don't know.
Tape gets brittle. Tape gets old,
Yeah.
like film movies and stuff like that. It breaks. So you're running it through this machine that's like, could break it because of the tension. So I think there's a few reasons why, but yeah, it's important not to start, cutting and pasting like in the old days with actual Scotch tape or film tape or whatever, music tape. So yeah.
But it was very interesting to hear like the way it was done. There's a lot of tracks that were absolutely useless, like shit guitar tracks. You don't need a one channel for that, or like a fake, like the fake bass or all shit tracks. You didn't need to have all that, but it's just fun to see like how they used to do it. Like for example, like Flo I think had 5 toms on that records, and there's only a stereo pair, so it's really challenging to mix.
Damn. Well, Ollie, you got to hand over the contact of Travis to get that strangulation redone, because I know that he was talking about trying to get that like
Chris
put
can
out.
maybe bake them.
Bake it out. Bake it out.
Bake my mix.
Bake my mix.
Bake the mix.
Bake the mix.
Ollie knows how to bake. He's actually kind of a sous chef baking guy. So
that's right.
He's a sushi.
He's not a master like Chris though, but
fish and chip straight from the box.
in the box. What are you talking about? I think he leaves it in the box.
That's the secret.
He leaves
That's
it
the
in the
secret.
box.
That's the
The
secret.
box in the microwave. That's the best way.
Defrost in the microwave, then bake.
Or I
couple
tried
minutes in the
something
oven.
new recently. The toaster works very well too. You just put them in the
Or you turn the toaster on its side with the, like Serpent from Belphegor.
Like we used to do to make grilled cheese.
Yeah.
This way, I think. Same with the. Oh no, was it Serpent?
It was
or
Serpent.
He
It was-
used a toaster for hot pockets, which is super sketchy.
Sorry, boys, you guys are going to be here for hours. Hey, I have a question for Mike, if it's okay.
Go for it.
Mike, I think Whisper was the first one for the first Cryptopsy that we didn't do on tape. I think it was digital, was it not?
No, we actually recorded analog and then dumped it down to digital for both records. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, we did record it on 2-inch tape or whatever it was for both the albums, and then dumped it down and then worked it from digital.
So you know what? That reminds me. I think I still have those. The analog of Whisper, which that would be kind of pretty crazy too.
Awesome.
Cool.
Experiment with that, yeah.
And I actually have the ones for and then you'll bake.
Oh,
I have them. Yeah.
all right.
That's your birthday quest.
I
Birthday
was gonna say
present.
they're like 50 feet away from me.
That's your
We gotta
birthday
get
present
together
right
and
there.
mix both out and see what it does.
It's
Yeah.
a baking party.
Yeah,
guys.
baking
Why
party,
not?
exactly.
That's
a
when
bake
then
sale.
start the oven.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Yeah, it's actually in 4. I'll get them if you want to see
Those
them.
big
Yeah,
big-
exactly. The big carry cases. I got I think there's 4.
I'm down to
So I
see
got
him.
Whisper.
Fuck
So
yeah.
yeah, we have to
dude.
do that. Jesus.
We've already had some other metal memorabilia unveiled on this show with a previous guest too. Some Cannibal merch and some Cannibals. Yeah.
The
So
Ace
old-
Ventura
yeah.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
That
not as
OB
cool as having the actual fucking reels,
Let's see it. Yeah, I'd be so down.
I mean,
Mike
yeah, it
and I
is
are gonna-
cool. Sorry.
Mike and I are going to go to the beach and see if they're waterproof soon.
Mike was really sick when doing And Then You'll Beg, and when I had him on for my second year anniversary with the whole singer lineup, I said we should get him into the studio to re-record his vocals all fresh for And Then You'll Beg, because he's not happy with his performance on it.
Damn, he was sick for that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So we could do that, Chris. We could give Mike his perfect And Then You'll Beg.
Like all the best albums, someone was sick and on it, right?
Yeah. Now this is actually, I don't
There it
know.
is. Yep,
This
there it
was
is.
We Bleed and
So,
Stream
yeah, I got-
Going Hard.
Yeah, so I got 2 or 3 of those for Whisper, and then you must
Yeah.
have like 3 or 4 for And Then You'll Beg.
4 of these, yeah.
Nice.
Crazy.
Damn.
Yep.
That's super cool.
So, Mike,
let's remix that shit.
I know Chris is over there just like, shit, did you guys, I just talked about how busy I am. Fuck.
Yeah, seriously. He's
I
like,
literally almost said that like 5 minutes ago. I was like, dude, Kristen's probably like, dude, I'm fucking busy with this one. And they have already in this episode in the next 5 minutes threw 2 more on top of the project.
Awesome.
Chris just pissed himself, man. You guys can't see it, but no.
But it's, I mean, this it's yeah, you can't see it.
Can't see it, but oops.
So, Mike, how did you get involved with Cryptopsy? What was the process of you meeting them and all that?
Well, I actually met them. They came down for a show in New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Bedford.
It was a big keg party, basically, like a 10 kegger. And that's where we met them. And I think like the first time we came up to, sort of shake hands and Dan, Lord Worm, he comes up and we go to shake hands with him. And he's like, no, you can't do that. And we're like, why? It's like, oh, I just stuffed my hand down my throat so I could puke up the worms. We were going to like shake his hands and we're like, okay. Nice to meet you, man. So yeah, no, it was a big cake party that got broken up before
Warehouse.
he played. Remember that?
Warehouse? In a warehouse?
Yeah, big warehouse. Yeah. And
That's
so when
terrible.
cops come in, they come in with all these dollies. They're like, all right, sorry, you guys, you can't, so they take the 10 kegs away. As they walk out the door, they're like, see you later, boys. Have fun. So it was like, I don't know, there was probably like 10, 12 bands on the bill.
Yeah. And then you came up on vacation. I think it was was it not?
I did, yeah. I came up for what was it for?
Where we had
Came
a
up to sleep at Steve's house actually, and it was for New Year's, I think, actually. And then so I mean, that was like the start of it or something. And we had sent some flyers back and forth to each other, and we kept in touch. And I did make some treks up there. I don't know, probably like 3 or 4 times even. And we had already forged a friendship. And when the time came when Lord Worm was deciding to step away, I think it was Flo. I think you asked me if I wanted to come down and try it out, and I said, "Fuck yeah, of course, absolutely."
That's where the music was headed, anyways. You know what I mean? And just really fit nice.
I had no idea. I was going to say real quick. I have no idea that Mike was Massachusetts. I thought you were fucking like Montreal. I was like,
you can't tell by the way I speak, right?
Well, after this, you're like New Bedford. Bask. I don't know. Dax backing. No, I had no idea. So you guys, okay. I thought you literally were like going to have a French accent.
It was only 4 hours away, though. I mean, we'll give it that.
Yeah, that's close enough, right?
But you still got those borders, yeah, and the accents, of course.
Fuck yeah.
I was going to say about what I was going to say before you, when I was trying to cut you off, was the back to the word unique again in Cryptopsy and unique vocalists. So I totally was like, Mike, although he's so different from Lord Worm, he had his own signature style as well. That totally was like, oh yeah, it's just the new chapter of Cryptopsy, and it is another unique vocalist that is more. It wouldn't be unique if he sounded like Lord Worm, So it's like another unique guy, and I love that aspect of Cryptopsy throughout this whole entire thing with Matt as well. I'm listening to all the new stuff with Matt and stuff, and I'm just like, there's even though there's a formula, you guys still you move with the times as well, but there's still like this basic, like these certain things need to be unique about the band, but the unique aspects come with the new person as well. You know, it's hard for me to like explain that, but it's like
you're explaining it perfectly. It's not. We never really looked at a new member being having to step into somebody else's shoes. We always looked at a new member being a new part of a new era, or a new time, and what they can contribute to the sound of the present. And that's why I mentioned at the beginning that I don't really look at at the past that much. And there was the same thing with new members. It's like, what can you bring? Oh, and cool, we can do this now and that, and we'll kind of put our heads together as a band with the actual lineup and try to fit everybody's needs. And that's how I kind of progressed through the years. I don't think that we ever wanted or told somebody, no, you must be like this guy, or no, you must be like that guy. Everybody's unique, so you can't really do that anyways. I find,
unfortunately, a lot of acts do, though. It's like that's why I mentioned what I'm saying. It's like that's the standout thing, is that Cryptopsy made sure that when that happened, when somebody came in, they would actually, add to the project and cause something new happen to it as well.
Right? Yeah. No, you're right. You're perfectly right on. Yeah.
So Mike and Matt, how was it? Just like, I mean, because you guys obviously got to do your material that you guys are on, but how do you approach tackling and covering live like a Lord Worm? Like, how do you just add your spin to it? Do you try to do as close as you can to him? Like, how do you approach when you have to do that live?
Matt, you got it?
No, you go first, because it's historically you were there first.
Okay. For myself, I think Flo pegged it as well. As I had no intention to come in and try and sound like Lord Worm. It was just, we're two different singers, two different people, and I felt, quite honestly, it would have been a disjustice or misjustice or whatever.
I never asked you to sound like Lord Worm, right?
No, fuck no, absolutely no.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
exactly. It was come in and do what you do, and for myself, that was the plan from the go. And I mean, for myself to prepare for it, I mean, he's not. You got to spend some time with it and learn the parts, and between the music and the lyrics, and and the vocal patterns, and so I spent a shitload of time learning the songs, and coming down. And I think we did, when I'd come down, I'd have 2 or 3 songs under my belt every time we'd show up for practice until I knew all the songs. And I worked my ass off on it. I remember doing laundry and I had a Discman, and just with the lyrics in front and going over and over and over and over, fucking hundreds of fucking times. I don't even think I'm exaggerating, until I could walk in there and have it in front of me and just know what I had to do. And you get it done. If you want it, you get it done. And I wanted it.
That Gabe Sieber style of learning a song, right? Where you just that's all he listens to. And
it really was. Like, I mean, that's all I would listen to. Like, literally. It was an intensive, course figuring out Lord Worm's parts and meshing it with the music. And, I wanted to come in, and I wanted to honor, the next step or the next era of the band. And it was very important for me to come in and be as professional as possible.
Was there already Whisper material being played or jammed when you were coming in at those times?
It was. There was 2. It was White Worms and Cold Hate Warm Blood were the 2 songs that were written and lyrically were put together, and it was it was pretty much kind of set in stone. I don't think I changed much, if anything at all. I think I just kind of followed with that. But the thing was, it was kind of like the carrot leading, because the whole thing was learn the whole, the whole discography, learn all the songs before we start tackling those 2 songs. So for me, it was like, I got to get through this as fast as possible, because fuck, I love those songs. I was like, I was hooked on those songs. So, okay. So get through two albums worth of material, learn those and get them, nail them. And then we move forward from there.
Like you unlock a new level,
Yeah, exactly.
Just learn some songs. And
totally.
Yeah. And then
it was kind of really how it was. Like, I mean, it's like, we'll deal with this later. Let's
It
learn.
is. It is, dude. It's exactly that. And it's like me when I have like 2 or maybe 3 projects that I have to record at the same time. I can't mix them up. You have to go one at a time. You know what I mean? And focus on them one at a time. And then it's like Matt, what did he do? Did he focus on Lord of the Worm? Did he focus on you? Did he focus on, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
I had to do it once. It's tough, man.
Yeah, it's not an easy endeavor to take on, but like I said, I mean, you want it, you'll do it, and that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Do you and Ollie want to talk about your other band, Acurion, for a minute?
Go ahead, Ollie.
Sure. You want to go ahead or?
No, you go.
Okay, good. So basically how it started was after right after Neuraxis, after we finished, we did a tour with Sepultura in 2011, and then Rob, he wanted to do something different, so he just whatever. He had 3 songs already, and he told me, I don't want to do Neuraxis anymore. I want it to be something different, and he told me, dude, I got Mike DeSalvo's contact and we would love to do something together. So I'm like, okay, yes, let's do it. Because and back then I never met Mike. I haven't met Mike yet. So for me, I was still like super impressed. I remember the first time I met you, Mike. Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was at your place.
Yeah.
At your place, yeah. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to Mike DeSalvo's place. Shh, nice.
And I was a total asshole. No.
Yes. That's the way I gotta be. Teach them kids a lesson. Like.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we had we wanted to do something like more organic, and I know Rob wanted to do something live, record an album live, the 4 of us in the same room. I think nowadays a lot of bands do it, like because it's cool to do this again.
This is what
we had this idea like 10 years ago, but
yeah, we had no choice back
fortunately
then.
we recorded the album in 2018, so we were not the first to bring back that concept, but it was fine. It was really fun, actually. We took 2 days in the jam space, 4 of us, and it was a full live recording, like no pressure at all, huh? Especially we have long songs.
But I remember
6 to 8 minutes.
I remember your song. Like
we did a song with Chris. Actually, we did our first single with Chris in 2015.
It was so cool. It took longer to. It was longer to set up than to record.
Yeah, that's a big setup. Yeah, for sure.
So, because we kind of skipped over Matt there, though, I wanted to, because we were going to talk about Matt with
that's an ordeal trying to learn all the vocals. I'll be right back.
Matt trying to learn all the vocals.
It was a disaster. Before we jump into that, I just switched gears into Rel Bucks. This is their Vieux Champignon. It's their maple Scotch ale aged in bourbon. Killer, 9%. Love Rel Buck.
Chug it.
I had no idea what I was doing. I was completely picked because I wasn't what Cryptopsy was doing. They wanted to switch gears and go and do something completely different. And that's where I fell into the fold. I immediately, tackling the material, was more drawn towards DeSalvo's vocal style, mainly because I could understand what the hell was going on, especially when going to the lyrics and listening to the tracks. I remember tackling, it was We Bleed was one of the tryout tracks that I had to learn. So I tackled that one first. I remember once I got the gig, I called Alex O'Byrne and I was like, does Lord Worm actually say all of these words? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't seem to fit, and I don't understand. So, and, I come from this metalcore band background, 3 Mile Scream. We jam 4 days a week. When I joined Cryptopsy, it was a strange period. It was a ambiguous who was in charge of the band, what was the vision of this album. John Abassar was no longer around, who was probably the primary songwriter of Cryptopsy. Up until that point, just about, he left halfway through, Once Was Not, but he did compose a big portion of that album. So The Unspoken King was basically a hot mess. Chris can attest to that too. The writing process of it was confusing. I joined the band in July and I didn't jam with the band until I went to do my first tour in Mexico in like March. It made no sense to me. So I was confused. I tried to learn the material as quickly as I could, and I basically crammed to learn material for that first Mexican tour. And that's really how I tackled learning the songs. It was a arduous process where I just had to listen to it nonstop. And I was horrible. And actually, Casey and Joel, you were on my first European tour with me.
Was that the second tour? Was it right after the Mexican one?
It was like maybe like a month and a half after that one. And I was still completely unprepared. And then right after that, we jumped into Summer Slaughter for a whole summer, equally unprepared.
Don't be so hard on yourself, man. You did a great job. Don't be so hard.
I survived. I survived.
Matt, you've actually made an appearance on this show before today, actually, through some footage that we had watched, right? It was some backstage footage. And you were just at, somebody that was there partying back there. So I was like, oh shit, Vox and Hops has already been on, motherfuckers.
Was that in Europe somewhere?
It's Belgium. Crazy... We were backstage in Belgium, and Condemned played too, and Steve was filming us. We were like, me and Flo were like drumming on tables. I met
my wife.
That's when you met your wife.
Yeah. Here she is.
There's Flo right there.
That was the guy with a big gash in his arm.
Completely sober.
Look at Joel's head, dude.
It's equally as big.
You've never been more silverback than right then.
Oh, Flo, shut the line.
Get it, Flo, get it! You gotta go get all the good on
That's enough of that.
Who the fuck does the bungle? There it is. Bungle. Get it.
Oh, Def. It's Def.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh, it's Def.
Doesn't he check this whole thing or something?
I'm totally there. I was sheepish and quiet at that time.
Kind of the perfect video to show your girlfriend. No, this is what happens backstage.
It's not groupies.
I'm not saying pull up another video, but I think it was the other one where the dude kept on falling on the ground.
Remember Tony the Tiger?
Watched that one like
it was Tony the Tiger.
Times,
yeah,
he would just he would literally just stand straight up and just fall without even any just go like face back to the ground.
He was not okay. That guy. He was definitely not okay.
How have you guys heard from that guy?
Yep,
Nothing. But
no.
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah. He's still touring with some of the guys, some of the Polish crew. Yep.
Because Brovar is doing Behemoth now, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Yep.
Behemoth
Still
and a few
going
other
strong.
things, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, those
Brovar
are
was
sober
amazing.
times, guys. So did you say, Chris, you met your wife there?
No.
Yeah, well, actually,
Yes, that night. That night. Yes.
That's right.
it's exactly where I met my wife. Yeah. So she knows exactly what's going on in backstage, and I guess I made a very strong impression, as you can see.
She's all looking at all of us. She's like, oh, those are all like cavemen. Oh, look at this guy over here.
These guys are cool.
Cavemen's are cool.
Oh, that was my first taste of Europe too, Matt. That was still actually, when I look back, I mean, there was some, hilarious times. That was probably one of the most fun I've ever had on tour. I mean, there's Black Dahlia Murder. That was my first real tour, which was, like big tour in America and stuff. But pretty much when I think back of my touring, it's always like it's Europe. It's just, Europe is like, it's like a new land. I remember touching down in Berlin, hanging out with you guys in like a corner of the terminal for like 5 hours, even though the bus had been there for 5 hours around the corner. And we were just all, getting to know each other. We pulled into that one venue in Berlin had to park for a day, and we all just drank our faces off.
Oh, we partied hard that night.
I remember I woke up the next morning and I needed water so bad because we just all those green Budweisers that we drink, and I go at like 5 a.m.
Warm beers that we drink.
Yeah, warm beers. Yeah, I got used to that real quick. But I remember walking through downtown like Berlin, like looking for water, like at 5:30 in the morning, and no one. I look like a psycho with like like fucking like camo shorts on, and no one would let me in to get water. They were like, no, like I was a transient, like a homeless guy. They're like, no, get the fuck out of here. And then finally, I found this one cafe that had water and just big gulp, and it was sparkling water. I was like, fuck this, and it was like $10. And I was like, broke. God, had to get used to that quick.
Good start.
God. I know, but it was like I was saying.
I do have a good memory of that tour with Casey.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring this up tonight, and I think it's a good time.
Don't be very hard on yourself, man. I mean, you know what it was too is that we were so busy when you first joined the band that you didn't have that period where you can have a little bit of a break to find your niche, and that came progressively, you know what I mean? And I think at one point there was we had maybe like a long period where we actually kind of found that. So, you know, you've been doing an amazing job since you started. So yeah, don't be hard on yourself, man. It's, and that's the thing again, don't look back, think who you are now and what it brought you and what you can do now with your voice. It's important. And that video is probably one of the reasons I don't remember the past, but whatever.
I definitely feel more comfortable now. Yeah, I definitely feel more comfortable now, but I had to work towards it.
No, I remember at the time, you were kind of stressing like at shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember just feeling your energy was kind of like you're very hard on yourself. I'm like, dude, fucking you're killing it. Like, what do you? Don't worry. Like everyone was stoked, and we had, the Death Feast open air, and you guys murdered it there.
True,
like
that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was you guys were very impressive. I just watched you guys every single night, and then you basically killed it, then came back and was like, I sucked. And I was like, dude, you fucking killed it. Like, it's one of those things, and that's why musicians keep progressing usually, though. That's it's because they always think they could get better.
We've talked to, even though we're still an infantile podcast, I think we've talked to enough people where there is a common thing where all the dudes that we respect and like know for a fact that they're fucking sick artists all have kind of that same varied way of looking at themselves and their art. And I think I feel like a broken record because I do say that, but it's true. It's like I don't know if I'd be doing this if I was totally satisfied with everything that I've done. Like I'll always have something that I need to improve or want to improve on the next thing. And that's why nobody knows the next thing.
Because nobody knows what you're feeling and nobody knows what you're thinking during the moment. You're your own worst critic because you might play a show where, you're playing all the notes and stuff like that, but you don't feel it like you would the night before, the day after. And that's you, but somebody's going to come up to you and say, great show. And you're going to take it like, and then you play the next day and you don't get all the notes, but you feel great. Somebody says great show. And you're like, I think, I feel pretty good. So everybody's should be like that. You have to be your own worst critic. If not, you don't really evolve.
And it's also being in the jam room, where everything does click. You taste that click where everything's clicking and everybody's doing it. Fucking, everybody's in that pocket, and even if you taste it for a second, that's another thing that makes you go back because you want to get back into that fucking zen. That oneness of a group of dudes that are trying to make some shit sound cool at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
And so we're chasing that.
You'll always be chasing that. That's the thing.
Yeah. And that's why we keep doing it, dude. And I'll always, I try and look at all the things that I don't like about my previous stuff that I've put out as the reasons why I need to keep fucking making new shit. That's it, dude.
Yeah.
And by the way, Matt, I'm one of the dudes that moves with a band, and I'm very accepting in changes and stuff. And the addition of you, truly, not just because you're fucking on this podcast with me, your addition was a great welcomed addition in my eyes and ears for sure, dude.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Show me your PayPal statement, Matt.
My memories of Casey on that tour. I just want to say it though.
Now, let's hear it. Oh yeah, let's get back to that for sure.
I
Casey.
was just sitting in the bus working, and I had no idea what was going on in the land of decrepit birth at that time. And I'm sort of a shit. I like to fuck around with people. And there was this weird misunderstanding where something had happened, and Bill left, and I went like, oh yeah, he was talking shit about you. And I was completely joking, but I hit a nerve and something exploded and it turned into a bad scene. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't.
Nobody remembers anything.
Well, that's
I don't remember it.
Interview questions should be about the present.
Which probably means whatever nerve you hit wasn't even. It was just like a in the moment thing. Like
probably a tour thing.
Yeah.
Oh, a Bill nerve. Those are common.
Yeah, you know, there was.
I do remember Bill not wanting to hand over his passport and walking outside of the bus.
Fuck.
Oh yeah, where was that?
That was at a port of getting into the UK or something, right?
Yeah, okay.
And he was still drunk from the night before, and I hear everyone like, "What the fuck's Bill doing? What the fuck?" And I just open the bunk window and I see him just pacing like a psychopath with like the border people going like, "What the fuck are you doing? Just calm down, get in, just shut up." He asked him like an offensive question or something, or to him was offensive, and like he just took it completely wrong, and he was just completely still drunk, and it was just like,
that's what happens.
Was the border guy like
alcohol?
Are you dick dragging, bro? Is that what he said to him?
Yeah, right.
Every time we go into the UK, Flo tells us the morning of, says, don't get too drunk. Don't get too drunk. What do we do?
Every border.
We also eat fish and chips, dude.
But that's the thing, you know, and I'm just a little bit older, and it's unbelievable how you know the age just gives you new insight, you know, on stuff like that, you know, and especially with alcohol, you know, and the tolerance of it and stuff like that. You can ask Mike back then. When I was more of a kid, holy fuck, how many fights, band member fights did we get into, and stupid arguments and just nonsensical stuff and poutiness and you know, eventually you go through it, you experience it, and then you don't want to experience it again, and that's the learning process. It's, man, I mean, you know how hard it is to get along with like one person in a relationship. This is like 5 people that are close to you. Not only that, you add a few other bands on top of that. Then you got to live together for a month or so. And so, man, it's tough, but there's just certain things that people learn. You actually, it's great. When I go on tour now, I actually kind of just try to scope out everybody so that I kind of figure out their characters, and that way I can approach them the way that they like to be approached, you know, and it's pretty simple, but you have to go through it. And man, I mean, I went through it, you know, I mean, oof. we had some good times, right, Mike?
Oh, fucking right, man. Absolutely. Yeah, you fight and shit. It's like a sibling rivalry.
That's what I was gonna say. It sounds like growing up in a fucking Italian family or something like that.
Man,
yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Go home? I mean, you can.
Yeah,
but I mean, you know, think about the others too at the same time. And I don't know, man. It is what it is. But it's great. It's a great growing up experience. Mix alcohol with it. Oh,
just like moving in with a woman, you know, you got to make sure that all the boxes are checked. You know, spending a month on the road with 4 other dudes is a big box that needs to be checked on the list if the band's going to continue. If
some dudes have hormones.
Like we did the van, the Econo line, 2 tours with 2 bands in an Econo line.
Dude, that's the only way I've done it, dude.
Oh, 2 bands though? 2 bands in one band?
2 bands in one? Oh,
in one fucking band.
Sorry, I backpedal for sure. I'd never done that.
Right, Mike?
Huh?
With Gorguts, right?
Twice. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. 2 times we did that shit, and we got along with them famously. Like,
yeah, and remember Steve Hurdle? God rest his soul.
Of course, love Steve.
Yeah, rest in peace, buddy. But he got injured, and he's a big guy. and he took one
He took the
whole
whole
bench,
fucking one whole row.
the whole time.
Oh,
dude.
So everyone else, there was like 3 guys like
Yeah.
sitting there sleeping together like this shit. No joke.
You remember
gotta be
Vile,
close.
Vile was in a minivan and they didn't even have a trailer, so all their equipment was stuffed in the back in a
Oh,
minivan, dude.
Brutal.
So that's almost just like being in Econoline with two.
Been there, done that, man.
vans.
Fucking growing pains, man. And then it's
Oh,
what gets
yeah.
you appreciate the good stuff a little bit more, you know?
Most definitely, dude. Like a fucking like a decent Motel 6 with hot water, dude.
Kind of, you know, yeah, that, yeah.
Can't beat
I
it.
remember sleeping on the train tracks in Canada at one time. I couldn't sleep in the van. It just everybody's like farting, being. I slept on the fucking train on the rocks, man. And
In the middle of the summer, dude, we've had some times where we couldn't even afford a hotel room. We had to fucking sleep under trees and shit to get out of the sun.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, this is all right. We'll pay $5 to go fucking at the what was it, like a local gym or something to go
Oh,
swim in the
swimming pool.
take a shower,
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
Yeah, we get excited just to hit the fucking flying J.
right?
Yeah.
No, but back then, though, it was $5 a shower. Now it's like
Yeah.
fucking 50
Like
bucks a
$10
shower.
now.
So
How much? What do they charge now?
15 or 12 or
15 or-
something.
they're like,
Yeah.
you want a shower,
I
you
think
got to
it was
sign
fun.
up for a monthly subscription of $25 a month.
right? Well, you know,
Shower number.
we're either very dedicated or complete idiots, and that's what that's why we get along, I guess. You know,
Yeah, I think you kind of need a little bit of both.
yeah, you have
Dedicated idiots, dude.
to. Yeah,
Weren't you talking about on that podcast with Naveen and Cheney, the Copper Crab podcast, Joel? Was it the one that were you guys talking about the like gym membership you can get across the country?
Oh yeah, they do the Planet Fitness.
That's what it was.
It's because it's like 20 bucks a month. I mean, it's like literally only 10 bucks a month if you're only going to one gym. But if you're going to around the nation, it's only 20 bucks a month, and it's just nice, clean showers across the nation. That's how they hit. That's how they hit it. So it's basically they sleep in the van.
Naveen's hitting some dumbbells and shit too, dude. That motherfucker isn't just taking showers.
Oh,
Like,
why not?
I mean,
That was-
stop me
yeah.
real quick.
No, that's an interesting place. That place like gives you candy and like fucking pizza and all kinds of shit. And so it's
So
a
it sort of
gym.
goes against the workout part of it.
No,
And-
you know it's funny when you hear that, you're like, that's how they keep you on the hook, dude.
I know.
Everything that you just gained, you lost on the way out grabbing a couple
Little
of Tootsie
carbs.
Rolls, you know?
It's like almost like
Here's
a
protein shake, 30 grams of sugar. There you go.
yeah. They have actually at that gym they have a alarm that goes off if you're like, I think they call it a lurker or a lurcher. I don't know what they call it, but if you slam your weights on the ground too hard, then an alarm goes off and they like call you a bro and like kick you out or something.
They call you a bro, like, and kick
Yeah, it's
you
like
out.
it's like guilt-free gym.
I
They're trying to
love
make
the
it like
fact that
Is
that
that
would be
like
written in like a
California?
contract for the corporation. Like you have to call him a bro. Like you're, as an employee, you're like, all right. So when the alarm goes off, I gotta do these things, and one of them is all right. Call him a bro.
And I guess it depends on the guy's size too that you're calling a bro.
throw
Yeah,
a
right.
muscle milk at him and then kick him out.
Oh,
Oh god.
Gotta do what you gotta do, to get your shit out, I guess.
Well, I wanted to add also about the European tour. So Matt, like, first of all, like my memory was like, man, this guy's a great singer, like off the bat, dude. Like we were
Thank
like,
you.
this guy's just like you sang all the old songs to me. It sounded awesome, and I only saw Cryptopsy with Lord Worm before you, and that was the first time I saw you guys. I think must have been. I never saw them with you, Mike, but I listened to you guys since I was in high school back in the day, and I've heard all the albums and always loved them. But yeah, man, we were always just like, I mean, my memory was you killed it, even if that was your second tour, you said.
My second tour, but the first one was
Yeah.
like 4 days or something.
Oh, wow. That's cool, man. That was super good times. And also like, I remember like, I'm like, all right, so I'm going to like play like before Flo, like, okay, like kind of like in the same boat, like, all right, for our first time in Europe and Flo is going to be playing, after me, a couple of bands, whatever it was. And I just remember just being like every night, like, we'd finish and like, I got to watch you behind your kit and like, just being right there and like, like loading out and everything. I'm like, this is real, man. It's like right in front of me. It's so crazy. Like it's like you're like a pro drummer, like you're like the dude that sets up the kit in a way that's like, I mean, I saw you at the Pound, like way before, like, I mean, years before that. And I remember going with friends and we're like, dude, the drum solo. Flo. We were like fans, from back then. And of course, for years, then back in high school, I was like, we were always like, Cryptopsy is the craziest because you get the fastest and shit. And so it was a huge honor for me, man. Like, I was just like, damn, this is so sick. And like, I was like, I can't believe I'm like hanging out with Flo and I'm like kind of friends with them a little bit, like, this is so cool, dude. Like, so total honor.
Really. Thank you, man. Yeah. I appreciate it. But yeah, shit like that is why I keep going. You know what I mean? And seeing just people that say that and surpass me in skill and stuff like that is even better. I think it's really cool. But yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, it's too bad that these tours are kind of so short and then we each go our separate ways, because you kind of form a bond and then it's like broken up, and business and logistics make it so that, oh my God, like, oh, now I remember, but this was years ago and haven't, don't know this guy's, it's weird. It's a weird thing. It's a weird business. It's very weird. And people don't really understand it that much. People that are at home and don't do it think that for us, it's just easy peasy. And, it's
just come to Brazil.
Yeah. Just, do it. Well, why can't you do it? It's tough. And at the same time, you make all these new friends. And even, even with Mike, I mean, we've been talking about getting together for forever. I mean, there's this COVID shit, but I mean, it's a different life, because then when you're away, then your family misses you, and the friends that you have, it's kind of screwed up. You really, again, you really have to be dedicated to it, or just an ignoramus, I guess.
I have an admission actually to make now that Casey brought up the European tour. I brought it up on one podcast, but there was like, we were young, and I mean, not that anything's changed. I still drink alcohol, but you guys,
you pooped in the bus. Is that what
no,
you're saying?
no. One of our band members did though. One of our band members did, and I covered for him. That's another one, but I'll let him tell that tale.
You covered for his poop, dude?
No, he was like flipping out, and I had to cover the door while I took a shit. But
I thought you were like, it was towards the end, but it was really somebody else.
No, there's only a couple shows left, but no, it was in Slovakia. There was like, we were just broke and there was no booze, and the rest of the booze was Cryptopsies. And Eric already like cussed us out a few times about having some of the booze. And so you guys started locking it with like lock and key, like with the actual like lock. And so I got a pair of, no, it was the venue in Slovakia. I forget where this was.
The auto bar or something. Yeah.
Something like that. And we were broke, couldn't afford, like we had, I could drink a lot. So I was like, oh, what the fuck? I only get one beer. So I got a pair of, lock cutters.
Oh, nice.
And I cut it open and got into the Jack Daniels, and then fucking Eric just let us have it. After that, he was so pissed. It was you gotta do what you gotta do.
You see, man, it's all about us looking out for your health. That's really what it is.
It's like all the opening bands can load out to get their exercise, load all the gear out, and then don't drink our alcohol.
Exactly.
Which is funny because this
we'll
story,
give you all the bubbly water.
This story is where I met my ex-girlfriend Barbara, and where I sang you Serenade in Slovenia.
Oh, really?
Different tour.
Oh, different tour. Okay. Orto Bar.
Really nice man. Yeah, Brovar was not happy with us, but
do you remember how many of them slept in that little hovel?
Oh yeah,
they were like 5 sleeping in this tiny little
hole
in the bus.
yeah, totally. And they just come out and get hammered.
Last one's awake. Sorry, last one's asleep. First one's awake.
Yeah, and there would always be 2 empty like fists of vodka like sitting there at the end of the night. I remember one time I was like, because they would keep us up sometimes like super late, just like breaking shit and stuff, and I'd be trying to sleep. And then one night I decided to get back at him, and I went back and got on like the loudspeaker and was all hammered, and like fucking Tony the Tiger like tried to like fight, like box me, like try to like beat me up. And he that guy can punch, so I needed to back down.
I tried to keep up with them one night, the night that we played with Vader.
Oh yeah,
and that did not go well.
Those guys can throw the fuck down. I'm not gonna lie. They got fucking Viking vodka blood.
So real quick, back to one of the things that I wanted to ask was, you guys did a tour flow with Dimmu and Diabolic Christian. I think that was the bill. And you played right under Dimmu. Who was the vocalist that time? Because I was present at the San Francisco Great American Music Hall show, but for some reason, if I gained the information of who he was, I forgot.
It was Mike.
No, it was Martin.
No, it wasn't.
It was Martin.
With Martin.
That
It was
was
a
the
little
first
dude with
tour-
long
that was the first
hair.
tour I wasn't on.
Oh,
It was a little guy with, I shouldn't say little, but a shorter, much shorter dude than Mike
This little cutie.
with long hair.
Yeah, it was Martin Lacroix.
I have a secret for you. He's here right now.
Oh, wow.
No, it's not true. But
He's in
Bring him
Montreal.
out. We got
he's
to figure out how to
Montreal,
fit the 10th square on
Bob
the
said.
screen right now.
No, he is in Montreal though, because he lived in Germany for a while. But yeah.
Just
no,
stepped
awesome.
in for you. So, Mike, what was going on? You couldn't
I
do
guess
it,
that was
or
right after Mike. Yeah.
so was that after you had left, or
It was after I had left. Yeah.
yeah? Not how long was that tour after that? Not long. Yeah.
Right.
Mike's last show was whacking. How cool is that?
Yeah. My last show was, yeah. It's true. It was Vakken.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah. I had, I remember actually taking the time to look out and just take it all in after the set. And just, I purposely just said, okay, like this, if I'm going out, I wanted to go out on the top of the heap in terms of shows at the time, and just remember, like, just taking the time to just focus in and admire the fucking awesomeness of Vakken, It was
dude.
really
Just
cool moment.
a sea of humans, right?
Yeah.
Pinnacle of metal festivals, the perfect way
Right.
to go out. And Martin is a crazy vocalist. He was amazing. He was a perfect mix of both Worm and DeSalvo. Just killer vocalist. He was so much killer. None So Live is amazing. That features Martin. Just so good. And anytime we'd go through Germany, he'd come up and jump up on stage with us to do some tracks. It's always super cool.
Nice.
So now he's home. It's amazing. So Cryptopsy Generations tour. Like, I'm pushing it.
He's tattooing he's tattooing like 15 minutes from my house. I think.
Oh yeah.
Is it that close, really?
Yeah, it's St. Thomas.
He was a super, super energetic front man. I remember him thinking his head was going to swing off of his shoulders at some certain parts of that set because he was just, but yeah, dude, that was one of another pinnacle moment of my young metal career was actually that first time seeing you guys. That was my first time. And then I got to catch you guys with Worm at the Pound later on.
Oh, right on. Right.
I dodged a worm.
Once was not. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have also toured with Disgorge. I think that was Disgorge's last tour that they've done.
2015, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't think they've toured since then. And
In Europe, right?
No, in the States with
US.
Arima, with the Convalescence, and with Surreption.
After that, yeah, okay. After that, Europe, okay.
Yeah, so I pretty much stepped in with To Violently Vomit. I think that was the last time that Disgorge was really active, and there's a chance of it coming back. But I just thinking how you've toured with Decrepit since then, and back in the day in Europe and with Disgorge. So were you guys like paying attention to the Cali death scene at the time? Like, were you guys feeling the influences coming in that direction at all?
That's a good question.
I feel like we respect what's coming from California for sure. It was, we were offered to hang out with friends that we've had before. So we definitely jump right back into that. Hanging out with Disgorge was a pleasure in Europe. We did that first, and the same thing with Decrepit, that 2008 tour. So hanging out with friends is always a priority over, is this going to work? Obviously there's the big hype bands that we'd love to go on tour with, but if we can jump into a tour bus with our friends, that's priority number one.
Definitely going to work better that way for sure. If you're going back to the,
you know what to expect, and you know you'll have fun. You know.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, that was my question.
Diego rules. He's the riff wizard. There's this picture from Europe when we toured with him, and he's standing with this giant piece of wood.
The stick.
It's amazing.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember in Germany somewhere? It was in Stan's.
I think I
or
have
something.
it somewhere.
It's on his Facebook somewhere.
It's,
Yeah, I've
it's
seen it.
amazing. He's perfect, and he's the Chris, sing it. Chicken wing song.
Chicken
Chicken
wings,
song.
chicken wings, cheese and macaroni. What's the rest of
Oh,
that?
fuck,
with
dude.
my
You know what's so funny
homies.
is my fucking son sings the shit. Chilling with my home. Oh, motherfucker, dude.
We're recording it tomorrow. Actually,
Chicken.
That has big Diego energy for sure. That song does.
That we met Soria there, and Soria filled in for Cattle for a bit. And we were it's this huge family of metal love. The Cali scene, the Montreal scene. We're one
Same
scene.
with Ricky.
Hell
We
yeah.
toured with Ricky, with Disgorge, and with Suffo.
He told us that night in the back lounge there, that first Discord. So he's like, by the way, I'm the new Suffocation singer. We're like, fuck you, no, you're not. And he's like, yes, I am. And then we played in Italy, and he climbed up this mountain to go practice his vocals. This is like before anyone knew that he was the new Suffo singer. And he's like, I really did it. It was really good. And we were like, yeah, you're going to be the new Suffo singer. But he is. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that came out of left field kind of, and he's fucking awesome at it. So
he's killing it. Yeah.
Ricky's the man. He's funny as shit.
Do you remember he shaved his eyebrows and he missed a bit? And then he shaved the other one just as much.
Dude, I got such bushy eyebrows, but I'm so scared to fuck with them, dude, because I don't want to end up like having to just take one off, dude. Just be like, I went too far, dude. Gotta fucking just take it off and start over. Dude.
He's the best.
No.
So what are you guys currently, what are you guys doing? You guys writing? What's going on with Cryptopsy right now? Cryptopsy
We were in a
game?
cabin in the woods. I've been saying this answer so many times. I'll say it again.
Yeah,
We were in a
please.
cabin in the woods writing the new Cryptopsy record right when Trump pulled the plug last year during the, when all international flights, when like the world sort of took COVID seriously. We were in a cabin in the woods. We were on this like massive high, just like writing, not drug wise, drinking beer, eating shrimp and sours and writing riffs. That it was really cool. And then Trump just whoosh, and then we watched like the world just dissolve, and the mood got really dark.
How far did you get?
We got a lot of stuff done. We were there for 5 days, and we got a lot of stuff done. But then we tried doing it remotely via Zoom for the rest of the year. We actually signed a deal up there that we still haven't announced. It's cool. I can't wait to announce it. I keep saying this, that I can't announce it for a whole year, but it's awesome. I can't wait to announce it. Chris has been working a lot.
Yeah, we've been continuing it. We basically have all the skeletons, and we're at the point now of working through the drum parts, and but it's slow. And the reason why it's slow is that, first of all, Cryptopsy has always been slow. But I think it's a motivation factor that this whole thing has brought upon us, where you're not too sure what to expect, tomorrow or next week. So we're doing it. It's basically done. What we would need to do now is record it, but then if we record it, and sit on it and not tour for it, we're a little bit hesitant to doing that, because I personally find in talking to the guys, I think that we kind of all feel the same way, is that there's been a lot of great releases that have come out during this pandemic, sorry, that have gone ignored. I mean, it's great. People listen to it for 2-3 days, and then something else comes out and they listen to that for 2-3 days and they forget about. And it's just like, you have to tour this stuff. You have to have merch for this stuff. You have to have an image that's imprinted in people's minds, because people have incredibly short attention spans now, myself included. So we have it. It's there. It's amazing stuff. I think it's going to be one of our best ones. And then again, I'm always into the newer stuff. but we're sitting on it. You know,
I find like if we would be done, I mean, it's a bad a bad thing to say, but if it would be done, I would probably ask myself what else to do, you know. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
it's
But I think you in particular, Chris, would be like, yeah, it's done and all that stuff, and then we have months to sit on it, and you'd be like, let's change this, let's do that, let's
I would
tweak it, you know what I
change
mean?
everything
and
again.
then it never ends. It never ends. You know what I mean? So, and I think like the best Cryptopsy stuff has always been kind of like, it's funny to say, but kind of a procrastination, last effort with amazing happy accidents and stuff that sticks under pressure. You know what I mean? Like we work really well under pressure, I think, especially for writing and recording and stuff like that. And I just feel that right now we have it, but we're not. Yeah, we don't know what to do with it.
I think it's really exciting, the new material. I think Chris has really harnessed his
Step it up.
Cryptopsy sound.
Step it
Because
up.
I've been saying this a lot. I've been doing a lot of press recently, so I keep saying that you felt like an imposter for years.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That
I
you
still
were
do, even for mixing for now. So
Absolutely
But
right. man.
how did you
Absolutely.
how did you feel like for the first few years you were writing Cryptopsy? You felt like you were like impersonating John.
it's always yeah. Well, even for even for the Unspoken King, when I just arrived though, I was like, I don't know what's going on, man. This doesn't sound like Cryptopsy that much, but and I just wrote 2 songs the last minute, the very last minute, and probably my favorite, but I still think to this day they don't sound like Cryptopsy. They sound like me trying to do Cryptopsy. But now I've been playing those songs like nonstop for like 15 years plus, so I kind of got into my hands, so it's easy.
So basically, it took you 13 years to feel like you were a part of the band, which is what Matt is saying, and it's true. It took him that long to feel like, and I think that what really did it were these last tomes were
Absolutely.
guitar playing and the soloing and the mixing and everything. This whole combination of everything is just so incredible that
The songwriting, it's a blend of the old and the new. The attitude of Cryptopsy, the essence is there, and it's a continuation with this new record, and it's a full length. We're not doing a tome 3; we're doing a full length record. It is very exciting. The material is dark; it's way darker, and it has a lot more like mood and atmosphere added to it. We've actually let the music breathe a tiny bit more. Not much more, but I feel like there's a little bit moments where the music can actually, we repeat a riff a tad longer than we had in the past. And I think that's something that Cryptopsy needed.
Not as much as Blasphemy, but still.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually like Cryptopsy did do that. And then they totally stepped away from that.
And then Ollie and I went to jam it out a little bit, and there's no breathing room at all, but that's okay, right, Ollie?
Yeah, but the riffs are there. You guys fill it up, but there's if you repeat something long enough, the vibe can stay a bit longer than something that's so fast.
It's the shrimps, dude. It's all because of the shrimps.
The shrimps and
The
sours.
shrimps and sours, bro.
Shrimp and sour.
Oh yeah,
I got onto that quick, dude. I'm gonna go do that.
Mercury. He does funny
Sounds
stuff.
like a combo in my near future.
Well, I love the new stuff, man. Especially that one from 2018. That's number 2, right?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, dude, I've listened to that. So I sent it to Anthony. I was like, gotta check this out before we.
And I remember it coming out at that time too, because I remember I was helping my brother on his house and we were jamming the fuck out of that EP. And I remember being excited about it then, and then freshening up on it before the podcast, I was like, oh yeah, dude. And hearing you guys explain it right now too, it's totally the way that I had taken it in. Was there's enough of that Cryptopsy vibe from the past that gives it that signature Cryptopsy, but everybody who is part of it now, their voice is in it, and it actually works fucking great. Every time I'm impressed with the Cryptopsy record. So that my what I'm saying is a little biased because I'm always down for a new Cryptopsy, so, but freshening up with that new one and just wanting to get that in my head before this, I was very pleased with it again. and it totally shows exactly how you guys explained it right now. And I'm glad that everybody's comfortable with the project now. You know, like now I'm excited for this full length that you guys talk about. Now that you guys say that
me
everybody's,
too.
you know, set in and fucking ready to go. So yeah, dude, this is exciting.
It's good. I like it.
I guess yeah, it's exciting. It's if Chris likes it, because Chris is the ultimate hater. He's like very self-critical.
I do hate a lot of things.
Most of the time, he has to get really, really intoxicated to the point where he's not judging himself.
The next day, I am. That's
There's no more serotonin left.
But I think Flo hit on something about like these albums that are coming out now. I think to my take on this is, I feel like early pandemic, it was really bad. Like a lot of bands' albums were forgotten. Like one of the main ones, two main ones. Me and Ollie spoke about this on our top 10 albums of Black Dahlia, Testament. These are two albums that were completely forgotten. They're pure gems. Nobody talks about them. They're like just about forgotten.
Is that Verminous, the Black Dahlia one?
Yeah, exactly. It's a killer
dude,
record.
I love that shit. So
we talked to
good.
Trevor like 2 weeks ago. Yeah,
those guitar solos, dude.
I feel like customers have now too. Yeah, but that came out later. So I feel like people have come accustomed to what the pandemic is, how they can support the bands. I think that even if I don't want to release a pandemic release, but even if we had to, if the label that we signed to finally put their foot down was like, we need something by this date, we're going to drop this record, pandemic or no pandemic. I think that the market has adapted to what a pandemic release is now versus those first 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I would hope that it would adapt that quick because art needs to keep getting put out. You know,
and I think that people are eating it up more now. I think at first they were scared; they didn't know what, they were too busy buying toilet paper to support metal releases.
Totally, and we've talked about it before, but I'm excited for like this is just another part of my excitement, which is everybody who didn't have the chance to put as much time into their art as they did, but pre-pandemic. Now during the pandemic, there was enough people out there that took the opportunity, really fucking put their head down and went into it, and we're gonna have some really cool shit in like 2022. It's gonna be fucking cool.
I'm just worried about the touring state in the future.
Yeah, I know.
Let alone if there are any venues out there. I've talked about this all the time on my podcast. Like Cattle was at an ultimate high right before the pandemic. Are they still going to be able to ride that wave with all these other highs that are still happening? How is everyone going to be able to tour their hype?
Mm-hmm. Totally. And I remember we discussed it a little bit on the episode too. You could tell that that was really bad timing because they were gung ho and ready to go, and well, shit, fucking crazy shit happens, right? And now here we are a year later on Zoom, but hey, we got an international fucking
we're about this close to getting into politics, so let's just
I'm waiting for that slip up. Someone's got to do it.
Well, dude,
I'm there.
It's gonna be
I'm going.
It's gonna be mad super tours.
Well, yeah, maybe like
once
we can do it again, it's gonna be like this insane lashback, and then death metal is gonna be like the biggest music on the planet. Like everything's gonna be huge, like
gonna be death.
Is it
like
true? I've read earlier that Cali will reopen Cali should reopen all their venues somewhere in June.
June,
July. Yeah.
June 15th. Yeah.
Yeah. And then people are asking, why isn't it April 15th?
Yeah.
I'm going to get another beer.
Are you guys playing? Are you guys like have any loose plans for touring, or is it recording first?
There's nothing going on the touring front. I think the first tour that we should talk about.
Yeah, there was for Europe, and they got moved back to 2022.
I think the first tour we should start thinking about is a Canadian tour. I think that's the first realistic tour that could happen for Cryptopsy.
Maybe just a show. We'll start with a show.
Yeah,
We'll start
just-
small. Just one show.
What if you live stream a real show?
No, I'm not down for live streams. It's too much work,
Yeah.
and it would have to be really fucking cool. And I did pitch one. I've been pushing for this thing. I would love to do this, and I'll say it again. Vox and Hops is my mind. Cryptopsy Generations Tour, where it's all the vocalists of Cryptopsy in one live stream. So that's a live stream that I would do.
Crazy. Yeah.
You get Mike, you get Lord Worm, you get Martin, myself. We do our own material, and then we do like an ultimate cover thing. That would be,
Sick.
Behemoth won the live stream game.
Got to do the
They've
math.
done the best live stream. Who has done a better live stream than Behemoth?
Zuzu, they did a really good one too.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not a big fan, but it's my buddy is you guys are gonna laugh. Pussifer. Did you see that one?
Hell yeah.
No.
That one was. I mean, but it was
They're doing another
also
one.
it was
What's wrong with
also
Pussifer?
no, but it was also like it wasn't live stream. It was like done over like
Pre-recorded.
3 weeks, and like they had to make sure the sun was in the right spot to record and things like that. But yeah, I mean that one prog band I keep talking about, Leprous, they've done like 15 of them now. They're like they're doing one this weekend where they're doing two old albums.
They get grants from the government to do this.
Yeah,
because
they
they're
have
from
to.
a country that does that.
They're playing literally like these fancy ass places in these fancy ass recording studios, writing
That's exactly
songs.
why.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
Exactly
yeah.
why.
So
They get grants from the government.
Here's my take on this, and I think Mike will probably back me up. The more these things happen, the more it pushes the way it's not supposed to go. And it's not normal. It's not natural. And the more we accept these things where everything's going to be done, at home on your computer and stuff like that, the more we're getting away from the fight to get back to where we all should be. And the only way that we can actually benefit from it financially, et cetera, because a true show is a true show, and you can't do that. You can't replicate that live stream.
Yeah, I do agree with that, and I also I'm also concerned. Like I mean, everyone's got that impression. Like when they open the doors, everyone's going to be there, and I wonder if shows are going to be fucking dead for a while. Like, and I only say this like not in the sense that dead, but it's not going to have fucking 1,000 people at a show. Maybe it will. I don't know, but I just have that impression.
That's a good point.
Like they're going to be blocking people from coming in. There's going to be certain people that are going to be okay to go, and then certain people who are not okay to go. And it's going to be this kind of routine happening for a while. So I don't know. I just don't know what to expect.
You'll see what types of fans
we don't know.
are just really, really just wanting to get back to a show too. It's like, I know there's so many people itching out to get to that live atmosphere again. So
I think
positively.
The longer we take this, the longer, the farther away we're actually getting from what we used to call normal. That's what I think. So,
well, I mean, personally, I think human connection will eventually fucking, what's the word? Subside, fucking reconnect, fucking fuse back, weld them, whatever. It'll all fucking. I think it'll set I think that being physically connected with somebody is something that humans aren't going to let go.
I think it's going to be fine. I mean, I think because I live in a beach town, and the second that things started to get more relaxed, the fucking streets here were tens of thousands of people trying to get to the beach. It was like on Friday for Easter weekend here over in Santa Cruz. There was like at 9 a.m. I was trying to go to work, and there was beach traffic coming in from over the hill. That was all the way. It was like 2 miles long already. And that usually starts around like 2, 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5. But it was like people were in this town. You could not move in this town. Like it was like if you wanted to go anywhere near the beach, you were sitting in traffic for 45 minutes because
you guys' measures are even less than ours. Ours are like really, really strict.
Very.
But then again, you have like Florida. Florida has live shows.
Yeah,
a lot of musicians are flocking to Florida because they have live shows.
Yeah,
like kind of like cover bands like that. And Texas is reopened to live shows too. And it's I think it's got to happen for people saying that baseball game was like pretty much full capacity too. I mean, I don't know. At one point, watching hockey with just like fans sharing in speakers pre-recorded is a little,
I know I'm raring for fucking live hockey again. Go Sharks.
a little bit weird.
Yeah, I was like super surprised that we got.
Is the worst.
What's that?
Like stand up comedy. But like shows in front of nobody with fake like
right, yeah, totally.
It's so lame.
Who controls the laugh button? Who controls the laugh button?
How do you do comedy in front of nobody? That's
there's people doing the comedy, but they're doing it in these drive-in theaters, and what they have cars in there, and people are like honking instead of laughing. It's like
it's even worse. It's like doing a stand-up show in front of the traffic.
Or like prison or something.
Hey guys, I have a joke for you. Yeah,
we're in a business that's actually probably one of the most touched by all this. And being that we don't make millions of dollars, we'll probably be the last ones to start doing shows again, because when you do make millions of dollars, you can arrange to have all the sanitary things placed and in the clubs and in the arenas. But we're in one of the business that's going to be long lasting, I think, for what's going on, unfortunately.
I'm just hoping that all these awesome clubs that we play finally fix the bathrooms during the time that they have.
Put toilet paper in them.
Yeah. You guys got a year. Clean that bathroom.
Like doors, full-size doors.
Yeah. Full-size doors, dude.
Hot water, maybe.
Who's had this happen where you walk in and it literally is like you got to go take a shit, dude, but you're going to see that you're going to like, what's up, dude, to the guy taking a piss right next to you.
Every one of us.
There's no, like, it's the most degrading thing to be like, yeah, dude, I'm on tour. I got to take a shit right now. And every dude who comes in here can just look down and be like, your dick is fucking in your body right now.
You remember the Penny Arcade in Rochester, New York?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We played there at least twice.
Oh yeah. Totally. We have stories. Yeah.
It's probably the one I'm talking about.
What's that?
It's probably the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Both times we went to this place, the bathrooms were shut down. So we had to go next door to some bar. And I remember sitting there, the toilet was far back from the door and the door wouldn't lock.
So you got your foot.
Holding myself up against the door because the door would.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And I'm holding the door, like fucking shoving it back in their face. I'm like, hey, someone's in there. And I'm taking a shit and holding it on. Come on, man.
I've totally done that too, dude. Yep. I remember.
The toughest of times.
Yep. You're like, what do people do here?
The one at Launchpad in Albuquerque.
No door, dude.
There's like a toilet. No, it's just in the middle of the fucking bathroom, next to the sink. Like, you don't mind
that where
shit, bro?
The New Mexico fucking Metal Fest? What is that one that we did?
No, that was somewhere else. No, that's another venue that the same guy books, though.
Oh, okay. Guys, I've been very lucky. I've been very lucky. Never did on the bus. And I always kind of scout it out now at the beginning of the day and find
I remember you took a shit sometime. I forget where we were, but you came back and you're like, yeah, I just found a sick bush over there to take a shit.
You always have to scope it up. You always have to plan ahead because you know it's coming. So
I came out there one time and James King was taking a shit sitting against the using doing like a wall sit against the bus and just drop I was like, hey, what's up? We'll talk to you later.
James King rules. He was so much fun on that tour.
Oh yeah, he's awesome, man. Yeah, I actually haven't heard from him for a while. I think I basically tried to entice him with some Kansas City Chiefs. I snuck out for some COVID football game because Kansas City is just kind of like, fuck it, we don't care, people can still come to our games. And I went out there. I was like, well, I'm gonna fly out there and watch a Kansas City Chiefs game and see how weird this is. And I hit up James, but I couldn't get a hold of him. But yeah, that was definitely one of the more awkward live venues in the middle of shit going down. It was like the worst time to go. And they're doing these little pods of seats, 4 seats, every 6 feet, But it's still, I had to just see it for the experience because it's one of the only live sporting pandemic experiences I could ever talk about. So everything else was just nothing, But yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do. I know you guys are pretty restricted over there, but
Yeah, I had to fly about 1,500 miles, and I was thinking like, you know, the plane's gonna be like separated, you know, like it's gonna be like every other seat or something, and it was just like jammed packed with like people trying to get standby, and like it was just like they didn't give a fuck. They were just like trying to sell as many seats as they could, you know.
It all makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah, money,
They're
man.
like, our industry is dying.
Yeah. This is all we could do. Like, God, fuck. Off topic. So
Yeah.
Man, I'm like this close. I'm this close to talking about politics. Man.
You're being good, Flo. You're being good. Keep it going.
Oh,
Can I ask Christian? I looked up your studio work, and you've done like every sick record ever, especially like Beyond Creation, Beneath the Massacre. Can you talk a little bit about your studio and the work you're doing there right now?
What do you mean by my studio? Like the name of the place, or
Chris,
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
sell yourself. He wants you
Sell
to sell
yourself.
yourself.
get that money.
So
Fuck, I'm so bad. I'm so bad at
change of
this.
subject tactic as
only
a host.
Saturday night you can sell yourself.
Matt knows.
I need to learn from you. Yeah, you need to help me out here.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm really passionate about it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this because I'm spending like mad hours like sitting on that damn chairs. It's absolutely insane. And but I mean, it's really a passion, you know. And I'm really glad and very grateful that I've been able to work on albums that I actually do enjoy very much, you know. So it just makes it way more fun than just like recording a band you're not really into, you know. Even though I still do it and I still love it and I take it as seriously as possible, but when it's like some bands that you really do like, man, it's not even a job anymore, you know. And it has to be like that because the countless hours I'm spending like watching at a screen, man, it's just like it's it's gotta work. It's gotta be worth it. I'm working on very amazing bands, like some idols of my youth these days, and I'm like, well, I can't believe I'm working with these guys. But anyway, when it's gonna come out, you guys will see, and you'll know. But
What
yeah,
was
I'm
that
very
band
grateful
that
for
might have been the one that you guys were mentioning earlier, but I remember Chase from, you know, Decrepit Animosity went up there for a while and recorded with you. Was that the band you guys were talking about earlier with a bunch of different people on it? It was like a big.
No, Chris didn't record that one. It was the dude from it was the opposite Chris
The other
from
Chris,
Beneath the
yeah.
Massacre.
Yeah.
Really? I thought he's.
Oh,
he's.
yeah,
I thought it
yeah,
was. I thought he said Chris from Crypto. Okay.
Continuum.
No. But there was like a. It was like a
Conflux.
Conflux.
That's it. Yeah.
Conflux.
You didn't do that?
No,
No,
it's the
I
opposite
didn't.
Chris from Beneath. But
Oh,
Chris is being very modest. Chris is killing it right now. Chris like got the Agonists signed.
oh, nice. I've been
They're like-
listening to the Agonists.
They're a killer band, good friends of
Yeah.
ours, of course. Chris got them signed because
Damn.
Chris,
I
the
got
same way I got.
Beneath new album, yeah. The Beneath new album, I got them signed on Century too, so I'm happy for them. And once again, that's another great album. We just like got like passed on their radar because of COVID, you know.
It's so extreme.
Such a
So
killer
sick,
album,
dude. Yeah, so sick.
You know, he the Shadow of Intent, the Despised Icon. Chris is on that cusp of becoming. He hasn't told me he's talking about these. He's mixing his idols. I don't know what he's doing right now. So maybe he's already at this point, and I'm selling him for no reason. But Chris is at that cusp
too.
of being the next big dude. So I've been waiting for him to get. I know that he's been this forever.
Well, see, I don't want him
he's
to be
at
the
that
next big
cusp.
dude. I think he is already the dude. You know what I mean? And it's always better to stay low key a little bit too. You know.
Totally.
But no, he's got some challenges ahead this year as well. So, but to be honest, I've done a lot of recordings, and I guess many of you have as well. But working with Chris is and not just me. I listen to the feedback of the people that I play with as well, and I've recorded with them. It's so easy because. Like myself, Chris is not a patient person, but when it comes down to business and dealings and stuff like that, you'll develop that patience to make something happen, you know? And for that, Chris is beyond beyond words. It's unbelievable.
You have a sick microwave, by the way. It's amazing.
And a six studio. That place is.
Oh, look behind you, Jesus Christ! It looks fancy as
It's a
hell.
sweet board, yeah.
Not only that, he's one of the only guys that he's a guitar player, yeah, but his ear, that's the important thing. His ear is incredibly developed, and his timing is incredibly developed as well. So he'll be able, if you ask him, say, stop me if I'm off, and he'll do it, and he'll pick it right away. And then when he works with the guitar players that I know, he'll be like, no, you're a little bit out of tune. You know what I mean? And where other people will not even notice the difference, he'll notice the difference. It's crazy. So it's not only his skills with his programming and his guitar playing, it's pretty much inert. It's in him as far as his ear goes, which is incredibly important and kind of rare. So yeah.
It's a bit weird that I'm here, So,
sounds like a question I ask myself every day, dude, when I wake up in the morning. Yeah. Pretty weird that I'm here, dude.
Another
I'm
day.
getting paid to say all this, of course, but I mean,
it's not even the question.
Rhodes is paying Flo.
What's up?
Give me my
Honestly,
mics back if you got an endorsement now.
I hate tracking with anyone but Chris. I hate when I have a producer that looks at me and goes, "What did you think?"
Yeah.
Thanks for backing me up, Matt. Exactly.
I would have been like, "Dude, if I fucking didn't like it, I would have told you." I would have
That's one thing.
start that again.
Reminds me of Zach Oren. Like when we first went in to go record with him, he just does not pull any punches. He's like, I remember one time I was playing something for the Cryptic Implosion Odious album, and he just stops and he turns around and goes, "Do you even know what you're doing right now?" Like, and I was like, "Geez," I was already nervous, and we were playing a song that I'd never recorded. I know. I was like,
funny, man.
"Shit."
I wish I could be like that a bit more, but I'm just too.
Chris thinks, Chris thinks that, but he'll say it in a very polite way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Quietly,
like, there's a presumption.
His beard.
Yeah, I'm just pissed inside, and this is why I drink that much after. Just steam out.
Oh my god.
Or I have this theory that you might not understand what you are playing right now.
Yeah, but I also noticed that, like, even like vocally and stuff, like Matt, like you're saying, like there's something that you like. I remember like explaining something, poorly to you on what I wanted, and you were just like, "Oh yeah, just like this," and bang, it was done. I was like, "Okay, yeah, well, that's exactly what I was looking for." You have an uncanny ability to match up whatever people are trying to say. Personal experience, whatever someone's trying to say to you, you develop it in the sound, and it's exactly what you hear in your head. And I don't know how you do it, but you do it.
He's the best. I came to his house 3 years ago this summer with like this mishmash idea of what I wanted the intro to Vox and Hops to be. My idea was horrible. What I left with was the intro of Vox and Hops. He was like, "This is what it needs to be," and he understands. He like deciphers what our shitty ideas are.
I was drunk too.
Well, for Vox and Hops, it's appropriate.
It's perfect.
It always comes back to alcohol.
Yeah, well, not today.
Hey,
I still got
What's
these
up?
motherfuckers.
good
Nice,
for you. Yeah.
dude.
That's amazing.
Cheers.
That's Kanawake Brewing's Cryptopsy, the New World Pilsner. It is a Pilsner that's been brewed with Bohemian yeast and mono mosaic hops. Shout out to Drew, their brewer. That's his brainchild. He's awesome. He's like mad hype brewery. Very excited to have that.
And it's exceptional. Really it is. I'm not crazy on pilsners, and this doesn't even taste like a pilsner. It's like
it's that mono mosaic hop. It's a New World Pilsner.
It's really good.
Kanawake is going to be one of Montreal's top breweries within the next year. The pandemic really slowed them down, but they've really been gaining ground, and I'm stoked that Drew's a part of our camp.
I had no idea how into beer Matt was until we ran into in Oakland. I was randomly in Oakland. You were playing with Belfagor.
That's when it really was taken off. Yeah.
Yeah, you were literally like, I was like, "Hey, do you have any spots? Because I'm broke and I'm in town and I'm with my girlfriend, and I'll bring you beer." He's like, "Okay, cool, you're on, whatever." Like, you're already on, whatever. And so I brought the beer
thing going. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Lagunitas Sucks. is what I brought them.
Oh shit!
Which
Those were heavy. They were heavy. They were 8% or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember like you texted me like 2 days later or something. You were or like hit me up. You're like, that beer was fucking amazing. I really like the
That's
depth
actually
and
the beer
and the
that
bottom
got-
of that, and then the top, sparkle. I don't
the
even know,
bottom of
80%.
that and the top. From the
I
bottom
like
to
beer.
the top.
Beer is something special. I always like beer. I actually discovered craft beer with Donaldson, and this is like an origin story that I say all the time. Is we were playing Masquerade, Summer Slaughter 2008. We went to that little convenience store under the bridge around the corner. We picked up Blue Moon and we picked up Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale changed my life.
Yeah.
No shit, dude.
I could do Blue Moon.
That's awesome because I mean I grew up with Sierra Nevada because of where we're from.
It's a mainstay
And,
here.
and that is the introductory hop beer
Yeah, it's
for
so forward.
a young
It's
kid coming up in Northern California. And then you find, and then we got older, and then Lagunitas Sucks and all that. Lagunitas Sucks was the one who made me pay attention to craft beer. Okay, I'm understanding, these citrus and grapefruit notes in these beers, and I actually really enjoy it. So I started to chase those citrusy, grapefruity forward tastes on the hoppy beers, and then getting into hazies is a whole new game for me too, because everything's in this seems like an opened up IPA.
It's completely mad and it's sugar forward.
Yeah,
it is. It's totally destroying the beer climate. Everyone loves it because it's basically sugar juice for adults. The beer right now that is hooking in all these new beer consumers are people that are just guzzling sugar and getting fat as fuck.
Matt, speaking of love, it's a really good thing. It's a really good thing I love you guys, because this beer stuff. My opinion about all this beer stuff.
He's basically like, all right, let's move on.
No, it's great. It's great, and Matt's been really really good with it and stuff like that. But and on a really hot day, or I'll give you a perfect example, right? You just finished playing a Cryptopsy show, right? And it's really hot, and you come off the stage and you're really hot. Well, my little pleasures in life are actually coming backstage and putting my hand into something that was filled with ice and taking out something that will quench me.
Yeah.
And at the same time, start giving me a little buzz, like after 12 or something, right? But and this beer revolution and stuff like that
you'll be happy. You'll be happy because Crispy Boys are back.
But honestly, because of this and my love for Belgian people, I've discovered that I actually like white beers.
Okay.
And now Matt knows who to contact on tour and stuff like that, and what to request sometimes when I'm running out of my typical stuff. So
I'll just straight to the next tour. We're going to be inundated.
What's your typical stuff? What's your typical stuff?
Coors Light.
Yeah, just something you could drink for like forever.
Light lager, yeah.
Coors Light. That's it.
Actually, during this I know Matt's gonna fucking crucify me for this, but I was into the craft beers and stuff like that, and I was doing that, and I'm doing that just because you're on, pretty much. That's the only reason why I'm drinking the heavy IPAs on a podcast. But the seltzers, the white claws.
I'm crucifying you. I fucking
those I could. That's what I said. I'm a fucking psychic.
Am I back in with this hazy right here? Bring that up,
Tony. You're cool, man.
No, but the seltzers.
You guys are all in, man. You guys are all in.
No, I think Flo would be down with what he's describing a seltzer drinker right now. I'm just letting you know, word for word.
I could hook you up with a seltzer contract. Yeah.
No, listen. For me, the problem is I drink really fast.
Me too.
I drink really fast.
I can drink 12 pack in a podcast.
Right. I always need something in my hand, after whatever, when I start.
That's his shirt, Joel's shirt back. I can drink a 12-pack in a podcast. That's a back print. That's a back print for when you guys do merch.
There's been many times where I pull my camera down. It's like 11.
The Joel shirt. That's the back of it.
I mean,
I like
the White
that.
Claws though. White Claws.
Yeah, a 12-pack in a podcast. That's the back print.
That's my tattoo on the back of my neck.
Cali Death official merch.
But
right
you know the way that what Flo's talking about, I take every other liquid the way that he does. I pound it. Water. A pint of water goes down in 3 seconds. But the beer is the only thing that makes me sit. Well, I have to sit back because you've seen me on the end of some of these things where I keep drinking, dude, and it's not good.
It's dangerous. I feel like the whole virtual drinking, we drink way faster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's
Every time
insane.
I stop talking,
so
I fucking
dangerous.
reach for the glass, dude.
It's dangerous.
No,
And I host these Thirsty Thursdays, which is something that's beautiful that has formed thanks to the podcast. I started hanging out with people just on Zoom every Thursday, and a whole beautiful community has formed thanks to this.
What's up, kitty?
It's insane.
Rose, what's your cat's name?
That's Zelda.
Nice.
And the other little one, Daisy, I don't know where she is, but
Mainly the reason why I ask is because we have pets. That's another thing too about having these Zoom things and everybody's at home is we get to meet everybody's pets that roam around the house.
my dog is somewhere, but he started stinking. My wife's been gone for like a month and a half, and I haven't washed the stupid dog. So I decided to give him a fresh shower. It's like shampoo. I just sprayed it on
dry
him.
shampoo or
Is it like-
something.
is it
Blueberry.
blueberry?
It's exactly what it is for dogs.
Dude, bring that shit on tour. And when people start smelling,
It
you
seems
just
like it might be a miracle worker for the van, dude. If you're seeking an econ
Dry pube shampoo.
He actually smells good now.
Dude, Thursday. I know we do this on Thursdays, but I'd be down to do a Thirsty Thursday with you. And
oh, it's amazing. I started it like just on a whim. I hosted it every week until September, and then I switched it up where I only hosted the first Thursday of every month. But they keep hanging out every week, whether I'm there or not. And now I have guests that come on that become a future podcast. And that whole, and I throw the guest over. I just had Brittany Slays on, which was episode 250 last week. And the Thirsty Thursday community asks questions to my guests. It's amazing. I'm so lucky to have
dude.
The
talk
Thirsty
about
Thursday community.
Little side note, but talk about having fucking Sebastian Bach on your I
Dude,
randomly like
amazing.
that came up on my front page feed one day. It's just all like you smiling and Sebastian Bach because I saw an interview with him doing the that Fact or Fiction Wikipedia thing. And he was a fucking asshole. I was like,
oh, you got to get him. You never know where you're going to get him. You never know.
I was like,
I didn't know. And a crazy story about that interview. He was super late. But this happens, like there's times that I set up my Zoom thing, I launch it, and I always have work to do, right? So I was like, I always wait like a half an hour. So I had finished the work I had to do. I had a beer here. I cracked the beer that I was going to drink with him, and I started drinking it, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm going to get up, and boom, there he was. It was like 25 minutes maybe late, and there he was, and he was on fire.
Yeah, no, it was good.
I don't talk, right? Like I don't like talking. Now I'm talking a lot because I'm drinking and I'm the guest. So I've been speaking a bit more than usual. But I tend not to speak when I'm hosting a podcast. I like to let my guest have the spotlight. But I asked like 3 questions and we went for an hour and he sang. And if anyone's watching, check it out. It's an amazing episode.
So how did you score Sebastian Bach? Like, I don't know. That's
I teamed up with Heavy Montreal, which is one of Montreal's premier metal promoters. I was very stoked. Actually, I teamed up with them right that weekend. I don't know if Chris or Ollie remember me getting that email saying that Heavy Montreal was going to back Vox and Hops. This is before the podcast. So I got that email. Everything was happening. I was super stoked. And then the pandemic happened. That. Don't worry. So I just like stopped writing them. And then finally they were like, let's just make Heavy Montreal Vox and Hops' podcast, or Vox and Hops and Heavy Montreal's podcast. So they hooked me up with Sebastian. It was amazing.
Awesome, man. One thing, I was just looking at Flo again. Flo is such a unique motherfucker that just dealing with that I immediately got your sarcasm, and like we both like immediately like partnered up on that European tour, and a lot of people like didn't understand this like this like French Canadian sarcasm. Like, dude, he's the most funny guy here. Like, what do you guys like? What do you guys not see in this guy? Because I remember like you said like a couple snarky things to people and be like, oh, he's mean. Flo's mean. And I was like, dude,
I had this. No,
Go for
continue, and I'll expand on that a little bit.
No, I mean, me and you like immediately kind of hit it off, and like we drank, smoked cigarettes, blah blah, like sit there and just judgmentally like make fun of things. It was just like a fun.
I think Flo always connects with people that smoke. I think that means you get the extra time.
Maybe there was no personality connection
with Flo.
I feel like I was part of that too, because I totally got it. So Flo, explain, dude.
Yeah.
No, and you guys are kind of right. And here's how I see things now, because I know that in the mic days and stuff like that, I was just a total dick drunk because I was, dude, because I just said I drank fast, but I couldn't hold it like I can now. And I'd go wild. I remember like we were at a festival in Europe, and we're meeting the guys from Central Media for the first time, and everybody had these plastic cups. And we played at 11 or something like that, and I would make it a day of kicking people's beers out of their hands.
I remember that.
That's how I spent my day.
Like what
That's how I spent my day. And then at like 11 at night, Lemmy just finished playing, and I think I fucking kicked his beer out of his hand. Because I don't care. But the thing is, I do care. And afterwards I'd feel awful for like the day after. I feel like a total dick. The reason why I'm sarcastic, it's because I think that listening is a lot more important than talking. And the more you listen, and it doesn't take very long usually, to people, the more you figure them out kind of right away, and the more you can be really cool with them, but the more you can like relate, because it's easier to figure out somebody than having somebody come up to you and telling you all about themselves and this and that, and and then you listen and you're like, oh, cool, and they don't ask you anything about you, so there's no relationship there. But when let's go back to the smoking. When you're having to smoke and stuff like that, well, you have that little, time to kind of share things and talk, because you're in the same situation, you're in the same place, and that's how you get to know somebody a little bit closer. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't take long, actually, I find, to know somebody.
It's actually I literally started to cut you off. I literally remember like it was the first night we were hanging out, and I had this little stupid game of what like when someone has a bottle and you hit the other bottle and it starts exploding.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did that to you first.
Yes.
And then we started this like battle of like getting everyone at the at this hangout. And then you finally tried to get me, and you couldn't, you missed. And then you took my full beer, broke it on your head, and then gave me your hat.
That was a wild night.
See? That's why I don't remember too much anymore.
It sounds like performance art, dude.
Right? It could be alcohol or concussion. Well,
there was a picture of me like laughing with your hat on, and you just going like,
"Oh yes, I remember that actually."
Yeah. Oh man,
I get the being out in the smoking area too, because even when I was a smoker, I liked being in the smoking area. But even after I quit, I would still go hang out in the smoking area, because one, I'd smoke cannabis too, but I'd also love to just be out there for the camaraderie of being in the smoking crowd, and that is where everybody else kind of just like, lets their shoulders down.
It's because when you're a minority, you have things that you stand for, and you unite a little bit more, I guess,
Totally. Yeah. It's kind of like a podcast. It's like the first podcast. Like you deal with the whole podcast. The original podcast. You deal with the whole tour, blah blah. Then like let's go have a smoke and like have a podcast about it for 5 minutes.
Let's go out.
Basically, like reflect on it.
That would actually be a very funny concept for a podcast.
Yeah.
Is to try and get the cigarette conversation, the quick
and you only track that of a whole tour, and then when you go home, you mix it and put it out as like segmented episodes with different people. That's actually a really good idea.
Hey,
it comes with
Can you,
lawsuits. Yeah.
can you believe this motherfucker? Like, what the fuck is that guy doing? That guy's a fucking
yeah,
idiot.
dude. And if you'll get everybody's real, like, quick little fucking quirks and things that they're having issues with right in the moment. They're just like, fuck,
That's
dude,
actually an
fucking-
interesting way
I gotta
to
fucking
promote
do
a
this.
tour
We,
to
we still got to do this. Getting their cigarette in real
Yeah.
quick.
It's like
just to
Taxi
fucking-
Cab Confessions, kind of, but like
Yep.
with metal cigarettes.
and like a wrap up tour, like to like talk about the tour, the way to wrap it up. That's actually a really good idea. I'm thinking
But I
about
think
that.
Right, Joel
smokers, smokers are more sarcastic, but they're also big hypocrites. So it's all good.
They're always quitting.
Speaking of hypocrite, yeah, I'm doing a vape cigarette now. It's just like basically a hypocritical cigarette. It's like I haven't quit, but I've quit. I don't know. It's one of those things.
Yeah, don't start. Don't smoke. It's fucking stupid. Stupid.
Yeah,
This
I mean, I miss like seeing you smoke. I just want. I'm like, fuck. Do I have any cigarettes hidden around the house?
that's what happens. I try to quit on tour all the time. Best time.
Oh God, I know. Once you quit alcohol, you'll quit smoking.
That's true.
That's the only way.
The
it
hardest. That's the pair. That's the pair that fucks you, dude.
Yeah.
Is nicotine, having alcohol and nicotine together and then quitting the nicotine and trying to do the alcohol. That's a battle.
Doesn't work.
No, absolutely. I even quit coffee when I stopped smoking.
Oh, that's another pair too. Shit, caffeine,
Especially when it's
nicotine.
grindcore Cryptopsy coffee.
Plug.
Oh, dude, I'm a coffee lover. I'd love to try that, dude.
DeSalvo.
We need to ask Mike a question.
Where do I buy it? That's a plug that you guys should throw out.
Grindcore.com. I believe that's what it is.
Oh,
Grindcorecoffee.com.
Yeah, okay.
I want to hear about Uncle Stalin.
Uncle Stalin.
Still in the works. Uncle Stalin and the Communist Joy, all with K's though. Right? The K's are AK-47s. That's Pat Hamlin and Matt Barabee and Alex Hebert. And right now we got 6 songs. I actually, as soon as I'll back up for a bit here. I started yesterday, actually. I recorded a song for Coma Cluster Void.
Nice.
And by the end of it, I was at about 90% done. And my fucking computer crashed and I lost it all.
No. Yeah.
Story of my life. It happens all the time. You think I'd learn? No, I don't. I guess. I thought I had saved it. I guess I didn't. So so I'm going to go re-record that this week. And then I'm back on the Uncle Stalin feed. And I'm going to try and slam through
One thing at a time, as Flo was saying.
Yeah,
it is one thing at a time, and like when you were saying that, like, and I also agree with you. Try to do those but it just happens to be that I got like 3 projects going on at once, jockeying between the 2, and I'm doing one. I'm thinking of parts from one song, but it's the other band, and
no, it's crazy. Yeah, you can't mix that art, because it's a different feel, it's a different vibe. Even
and
if
it is.
Even if it's exactly the same, there's still like a little difference. You know what I mean?
No, it is. It's true. And then because each project is a completely different approach. So it's like jumping from like I'm doing the CCV one now, and that one's like ultra chaotic, really crazy, and the time changes are just I piece that one together, lose it, and I'm already I have to still re-record it, and I'm still thinking. I'm already thinking ahead of the next Uncle Stalin song I got to do. So I'm able to do it.
And then you have to go see a doctor and then get sleeping pills prescribed and all that.
I am my own doctor.
I am my own.
My medicine is beer.
He's like the medicine cabinet's right behind me.
Yeah.
I don't feel like the world has seen or heard any Uncle Stalin.
No, I don't think so. And it's
I've heard a track with no vocals.
I did.
What is Uncle? What is it? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Matt. What?
I've heard a track. I know it's heavy as fuck. It's 8-string guitars, right?
8-string guitar and 9-string. Is he playing? I think he plays. Yeah, I think he's playing a 9-string. And it's just it's groovy and nasty. And Pat Hamlin. I mean, he's from Martyr and Gorguts fame. I mean, you're talking about a fucking amazing drummer. and the combination, man, it works, and it's really, really groovy, brutal.
Awesome.
I'm really digging it.
That's super.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear Martyr, I always think of like back when you used to read the thank you list from bands and like to find bands like Spawn of Possession in 2003 or 2 with a Cabinet. The number 1 band was Martyr. And I was like, this is my favorite band right now. I have to go buy all their shit, and just bought like all their shit like immediately. That's something that's like on I guess Spotify related artists is maybe something like that, but there's some the magic is missing from buying the CD, holding it, looking at the thank you, taking the list of what you need to buy. Totally.
For sure.
So when the night that you guys had played the Pound in SF is when I think I bought the Martyr albums because they were at the merch table. I bought both of them because it said that it was a little handwritten card next to it that said for fans of Cynic, Atheist, and I was like, wait, that dude was just on stage with fucking Cryptopsy. Now we got a band of 2 albums that say they're in the vein of all my favorite shit at that time. I'm like, give me those 2 albums.
right.
And I went home drunk as shit.
Sorry, guys. Coming back to Mike's point about juggling, Mike. You know what I do sometimes? I just say, all right, this band, I think I got it, but I'm not. I'm a lot of the times I'm like 30% kind of like convinced, and I just say, I'm recording with Chris. He'll fill me in on the rest. So if you're worried, you know what I mean? Like just pick your pleasure kind of thing, and then the other one be like, Chris will fucking fill me in on the rest.
I guess I need some sleeping pills too now. Speaking of which, guys, I'll probably have to leave because I have some deadlines, crazy deadlines I have to meet before tomorrow morning for labels, and I'm not done.
We could probably
Thank you
start
for giving us your time, dude.
I mean, I know they're 3 hours ahead.
Yeah, that's wild.
I was supposed to leave at 10:15, but here I am.
All right, let's start to get this all wrapped up and do a little wrap up thing.
Yeah,
I would have showed you. I would have showed you Cirque, like, and
it's all good. It's because Chris is not on the alcohol.
I miss Cirque, dude.
I miss Elo and Cirque and Ulf.
I don't.
Of course you do.
Recently.
Oh my god!
Line.
And now they're gonna curfew again at 8, like
Starting
soon.
Sunday.
Don't get me going.
Crazy.
Don't get me going.
Politics. Here we go.
Almost there.
All right, guys. I guess we gotta.
Thank you guys so much for coming on, man. That was such an honor.
So sick.
Yeah, Chris, thanks, man. Thank you.
Most definitely an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Only Chris. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks to
Topsy.
Chris.
Chris Topsy.
We need the fish and chip recipe.
Thanks, Chris.
The Chris and chips.
The Chris and chips.
All the good stuff's happening right at the end now, guys. All right. Well, thanks so much, dude. This is fucking rad. Canadian Cali mashup once again through Ollie. Thanks for coming on again, Ollie. Fucking
Cheers.
Subscribers, love fucking having you. If you want to subscribe, please do it. We'll be back next week. We got another heavy hitter coming. Yeah. What else do we need to say other than fucking cheers? Lots of beers. Vox and Hops. Go check that shit out if you haven't already. If you're here and you don't know what the fuck, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck.
URM Academy on Saturday. Yeah, it's good enough, dude. Yeah,
it's great. It's
we
great.
fucking love
Love
Cryptopsy, dude. Thank you.
Vox and Hops.
I'm a fan more than anything tonight, guys. So cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
And have a good weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care.
Yes.
Cheers.
Peace.